Hey fellow photographer, how's it going? I'm Michael Zelbel. This video it's titled Flash for Fantasy, and the Billy Idol fans among you might go ballistic and say no, there's a severe spelling mistake, but seriously, this video is about a fantasy styled photo shoot outdoor in the forest and how I'm using flashlight in order to make the model pop out and guarantee that the photos are turning out good. Because such a photo shoot, it might easily get overwhelming with all the moving parts. I would like to share how I approach such a styled photo shooting so that I end up with the images that I really want. I want to share some simple lighting setups, camera settings and styling elements which I use in cases like that. The example photo shoot that I'm describing here was a 2.5-hour photo shoot. We started at 1:30 in our home studio, then we were playing around over there for a while. At 3 p.m. we were on location in the forest, and over there we were shooting until 4 p.m. So we used much more time warming up in the studio and driving to the location than we actually used shooting on location. Why would I approach it like that? Well, for me, it's mostly about taking it easy, not rushing it, making things easy and fun for myself, and making good photos guaranteed for myself. Let's start with a fun element, the styling. Our model Alexandra was kind enough to model for this photo shoot, and Alex is usually looking a bit shy, so our idea was to turn her into a kind of forest creature. We wanted her to wear an artificial horn crown, and long before the photo shoot we already looked up such crowns on Etsy, and over there they sell for like $200 if they are very simple, and if there are some crystals attached then they easily go above $1,000. That's way above our budget, so we went the do-it-yourself route, investing probably about $10 for the material. If you like do-it-yourself, then this is fun, or if you have got some children that you can do it together with, that will definitely be fun. For the clothes, we wanted her to wear a white nightgown. We found the nightgown called Tunica at H&M, and it sells for less than $10. This way, if we would ruin this nightgown in the forest beyond repair, then we wouldn't have to be so sorry. Our very first set, however, we did shoot in our home studio just in a corner of a room. It's all about soft beauty light, which gives us really good photos guaranteed. And this is important for me because if the first couple of photos are really good, then it gives myself, the photographer, and also the model more confidence. Then we already have the first couple of really good photos, also for the stylist and everybody. So everything else is just a bonus. For that, I did set up 3 lights, 2 shoot-through umbrellas which shine into the face of the model. Sometimes I even used a reflector from below to fill in so that the whole face and upper body of the model was bathed in soft light. This is always looking good. Even for awkward poses, it's looking good. Then there was an additional speed light hidden in the back of the model, firing into the background onto a white wall, just blowing out the background in the frame. For this, like always, I used a small aperture, in this case f8. I often will shoot that at f11, but it's an aperture which makes sure the model is really, really sharp. So it's all about the guarantee. For the second set, we just turned into another corner of the room, one corner where I have a black curtain in the background. So this may or may not work depending on the model and the styling. It's an experiment. I kept the flash behind the model, which was now shooting into the black background, lifting the tone up to a dark gray, just enough to have a bit of separation between the background and the dark hair of the model. We also tested some alternative clothing, just in order to give us a guarantee that we have chosen the optimal piece for this kind of shoot. I was switching off one of the shoot-through umbrellas so that I had soft light only from one side of the model, so this would be more similar to what we were doing outside. In the forest, in our final set, we used flash because available light would make her sink into the dizzy background of the forest. She would visually disappear. With my flash, I am forcing her to pop out in the photo. And this again is a guarantee for a good photo. Make your model popping out, bathe her in light, even outside. I used a beauty dish as my modifier because a beauty dish is hard enough to look okay outside. in the sunlight, but at the same time, it's not so hard that it would look awkward in the forest. It's powered by an Indra500 portable studio light because that's just very powerful, and it allows me to shoot against the sun because the sun is always in the model's back. I'm always shooting so that the flash can fill in and work with the shadow side of the model. I'm shooting this on a large aperture of f2.8 in order to throw the dizzy background of the forest out of focus. It's about isolating the model. That also means that I will end up with fast shutter speeds, in this case around 1/1000th of a second. Such a flash like the Indra is still powerful enough to shoot even fast series on high-speed sync. Now, I'm not a photographer that is shooting too fast, but I also had a second photographer on the set because, like most of the times, I was shooting together with our good friend Feifei. Having a second photographer there is like having a second brain for ideas and for problem solving. It's again a kind of a guarantee for good photos, and it's much more fun. It gives me a second pair of eyes on my photos, and for that, like always, I am tethering my camera to my laptop so that everybody else can directly see the photos and point out flaws, have a look and see mistakes. Yeah, it's all about the guarantee of good photos. I'm tethering now with my new iFi Mobi Pro card. In previous videos, you have seen me using the iFi Mobi card, which is great, but now I upgraded to the Pro, which is also a little SD card that transfers all the JPEGs to my laptop, but it got one more awesome feature, which is, as long as I'm inside my studio, it will connect via my studio Wi-Fi. My laptop anyway always connects to the studio Wi-Fi, and when the Mobi Pro card also connects to it, then the laptop stays on the internet and images are transferred in the background. Once I go outside over here into the forest, then there's no studio Wi-Fi anymore. Then the Mobi Pro card automatically sets up its own Wi-Fi hotspot. My laptop connects to that one automatically because it's the only spot which is there. And the transmission starts again in the background, totally on autopilot, totally hands off, which is just awesome. And not only can then everybody see the photos and point out flaws, but I also have a backup of the photos on my laptop. And if I'm connected to the internet, then there's even an additional backup in the cloud because this iFi Pro card comes with the iFi cloud. And I think it's worth mentioning that that cloud is also storing RAW files because with all the clouds that I know so far, they do not store and work with RAW files. Now, even my Adobe Cloud, which is also awesome, it stores the smart previews from Lightroom, but not the RAWs. While I'm not using the RAW transfer via Wi-Fi, because for me that's too slow, I think somebody who does use it, maybe after the shooting or something, they will benefit from the additional backup. Just heard my good friend Felix Meyer, a professional photographer, saying, no backup, no mercy. And it happens so often that photographers tell me, wow, they lost all their files because there was a hard drive crash or something. So if you don't have a backup strategy in place, which I actually have for my laptop, then highly consider coming up with one. And the iFi Mobi Pro card is really helping with that. To recap, when I'm on an outdoor shoot, a style shoot, then I want to take it easy and I suggest you to do the same. Have fun choosing or crafting the styling elements. Begin with very easy, safe photos to have some good photos right out of the gate. Ideally just start simply in your home studio or somewhere. Play a bit with the styling and poses until you like them. Definitely use a flash outdoor to make your own light, to be in full control of the light, and have a second photographer with you, a friend. Then always tether to your laptop or tablet so that you visually see that the photos are working out, that they are like you want them, and you can course correct early on. If you do that, then pretty much nothing can go wrong. You will most probably have a lot of fun, and that is great. And for that, I wish you good light.